refuge in Sola and Tuna Kalba communities. Mr. Speaker, through facilitation, dialogue among factions, all victims have since returned home. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary?
Mr. Speaker, media reports which were widely available on TV indicated the burning of homes, thousands of homes. So these returnees, which shelter and alternative accommodation were facilitated by the states for their reintegration, owing to the fact that we all saw how their houses were burnt for which they were displaced. And also from the precedent set when Jamaica had such a similar distress situation, this country, led by the states, carried resources to go and rebuild, help in the reconstruction.
Honorable Member, you are offending Order 88.7.
I'm guided, Mr. Speaker. So in that same principle, what reconstruction efforts were done in Benyiri that aided the returnees back home?
Please ask specific question with the way you wind it up.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, so what steps were taken to rebuild shelters and homes for the displaced victims?
Your question is not about building homes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm asking because they have returned home and their homes were burnt for which they were displaced. They were displaced because their homes were burnt. So if the minister is saying they have returned home, which homes and which shelter were provided for them to aid their reintegration back to their homes?
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, fortunately for us, only 5 houses were burnt down. They had partial, only 5, yes. And in the case of the chief, yes, it's been rebuilt, but I also know how our people live. Yes, some you have a room that has been brought down, but for houses was only 5 houses. But because they live communally, they came and they were coping with each other, and many of them, because they are already mad houses, they've already built them. But that of the chief in Benyiri, the state built it to ensure that the chief was able to return. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, question number 471. Standing in the name of Honourable Alexander Kwesi Akwa, Member of Parliament for Akim Odan.
Grateful, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for the Interior whether the ministry recently presented some pickup vehicles for the 24-hour Economy Secretariat and the source of those vehicles. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Interior has not presented or donated any pickup vehicle to 24-hour Economy Secretariat. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any supplementary question? Thank you very much. Let's move to question number 569. Standing in the name of Honorable Akwesi Jemfi Onyina Achampong, Member of Parliament for Kwabre East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Interior how the ministry intends to monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of the new Independent Police Complaints Commission in rebuilding public trust and enhancing police professionalism. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Interior currently is at Cabinet with a Cabinet memo towards the possible establishment of an independent police complaint commission to strengthen accountability and rebuild public trust in policing. The Cabinet report will guide the design, mandate, and monitoring framework of the proposed commission to ensure it complements the existing police professional standard bureau. When established, its effectiveness will be assessed through periodic performance review, public perception survey, and stakeholder consultation aimed at enhancing police professionalism and transparency. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any supplementary?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask the Minister, what were some of the challenges? Can he outline some of the challenges that the existing police complaint process had that warranted the establishment of this independent commission?
Honourable Member, your question is how they intend to monitor and evaluate the effectiveness. The question never mentioned any challenges. The answer did not also mention any challenges. So this cannot be a supplementary question.
Mr. Speaker, I got the supplementary from his answer, and I wanted to know what is warranting this independent establishment of this new independent.
What is warranting what?
The establishment of an independent commission. If the process was not flawed, why change it? So I wanted to know what were the challenges with the system that he is proposing the establishment of an.
But did the minister mention any challenges? He even indicated that they are at cabinet. Is that not what you said? So something that is in cabinet, how could there be challenges? Because I listened to the minister in his answer.
Mr. Speaker, definitely if for there to be a solution, there has to be a problem. That's why I asked.
But I believe it is only when it comes to implementation that there will be challenges. So I do not know where the question is coming from. In the absence of any further question, we'll move to question number 570. Standing in the name of Honorable Akwesi Jemfi Onyina Achampong, Member of Parliament for Kobri East, you have the floor to ask question number 570.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Interior what specific actions have been implemented so far by the Ghana Police Service in investigating the violence that occurred during the rerun of the parliamentary elections in Ablikuma North constituency. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, following the unfortunate incident of violence during the rerun of the parliamentary election in the Ablikuma North constituency, the Ghana Police swiftly commenced investigations to identify and prosecute all persons involved. Several suspects were arrested and prosecutions are currently ongoing in respect of those found culpable. In addition, Mr. Speaker, the incident involving police officer and a journalist during the election has been referred to the Police Professional Standard Bureau as part of the internal disciplinary processes. Appropriate sanctions will be applied upon the conclusion of the investigation in line with police disciplinary regulations. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, does the Minister have any timelines towards the investigation?
Yes, Honorable Minister, any time now.
Mr. Speaker, with those in court, as you may know, we will not be able to give time as to when the court will finish the prosecution because they have to defend themselves, we have to present witnesses, so that is pending. With regards to the internal, which has to do with the police officer, yes, I'm sure that by the end of this quarter, the police should be able to report to us whether they are done with their investigation or not. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Other members, on your behalf, I thank the Minister responsible for Interior for attending upon the House to respond to questions scheduled for him. Honorable Minister, thank you for coming. We are most grateful to you. I now ask the Minister responsible for Roads and Highways to also take the seats whilst I call on Honorable Kwame Anyimedu Entry to pose question numbered 586.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when Konongo Roads would be completed.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Konongo Town Roads was awarded under the contract titled Rehabilitation of Konongo 5.72 kilometers and Morso Town Roads 2 kilometers. The project commenced on the 9th of December 2024 for completion by 8th of December 2026. Progress of work is currently at 15%. Works have stalled due to delayed payment for the works done. Efforts are being made to get a contractor back to site to complete the outstanding works. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the last paragraph, the Minister says that efforts are being made to get the contractor back to the site. I would want to find out if the Minister can throw more light on what he means by efforts. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Honorable Minister, what do you mean by effort?
Mr. Speaker, the contract sum is 71.7 million. The contractor only worked up to 4 million, 15% of the work. So he hasn't done much work to warrant him leaving the site. So we are pleading with him to come back to the site and continue to work. I've already said that part of the reason he gave was because of our inability to pay for works he's already done, which is up to 4.9 million Ghana cedi. So efforts are being made to get him back to site. Unfortunately, it's only one question, only one supplementary question.
Honorable Member, I don't think we are ready to breach the agreement reached by the House.
Mr. Speaker, if you would allow me, I want to give some information to the Minister.
While you can see the Minister
I will not
outside,
ask the question.
please, you can see the Minister outside and give him the information. I call on Honorable Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rollins to pose the question number 663.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways a question, which is when the CMB Abuja Road will be completed.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Korle Klottey is one of the 29 assemblies in the Greater Accra region, with Osu as its capital. The Department of Urban Road awarded the heavily deteriorated 550 meter section of the 800 CMB to Abuja Road. The works were completed by 2016 and the contract has since been closed. There is no program for the rest of the section currently. Engineering design studies and cost estimate have been carried out on the remaining 250 meters stretch and other roads, linked roads, for consideration upon availability of funds. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The original contract, we were informed, was actually supposed to extend to the front of the Accra Brewery, which has not been done. And the drains alongside that were also not done after 2016. And so just to inquire from the Minister whether that's going to be done quickly based on the density
yes,
of traffic.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I had a conversation with the Honourable Member, and we will get back to site and tackle the remaining section within the month. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call on Honourable Brighter Samuel Bifog Member of Parliament for BBNE, Amiaso Bakwai, to pose question number 583.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Brefo. It's wrongly spelled here.
Very well.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to ask Honorable Minister for Road and Highways, what steps is the ministry taking to ensure completion of Awaso town roads?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Awaso Town Road was awarded under the contract titled Upgrading of Awaso Town Road, 3.4 kilometers. The contract commenced on the 1st of December 2023 for completion on the 1st of June 2025. The progress of work is 47%. The contractor has vacated site. Efforts are being made to bring the contractor back to site to complete the outstanding works. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable, any supplementary question?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The response of the minister, the contractor has abandoned the work because of non-payment of certificate raised. Does the effort include, does his effort include making sure that payment is ready for the contractor?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want colleagues to always make reference to the budget we approved in this House for the ministries from which we demand work to be done. If you check the 2025 or 2026 budget, the allocation made there is what is this House has approved for, to be used to pay contractors. Last year, whilst we approved a certain amount of money for the payment of arrears, somehow the finance minister paid in excess of that. As I said, over 9.8 billion Ghana cedis was used to pay arrears to contractors. The difficulty is that we inherited a colossal amount of unpaid certificates. And indeed, on record, President Mohammed's government has paid contractors at a within the shortest possible time than any government in our history. 9.8 billion cedi is a lot of money, and at the time we were under IMF and everything was out of place in terms of our economic indices. So indeed, we acknowledge the fact that a lot more contractors ought to be paid, and we are working as much as possible to make sure we raise the revenues as directed by this House to pay the rest of the contractors who are yet to receive their money. As soon as we receive those monies, they will be paid, and then we will encourage them to go back to site. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, this is a consensus specific. We'll move to question number 598, standing in the name of Alhaji Alhassan Mumuni, Member of Parliament for Salaga North. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the plans of the ministry to construct the Voili-Panshagu-Yapala Junction Road. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Yapala-Pashegu Road section has been awarded under contract upgrading of Panshegu Junction to Panshegu Feeder Road, 15 kilometers. The contract commenced on the 13th of November 2024 for completion by 13th of November 2026. The progress of work is currently 20%. The contractor is currently not on site and works have stalled. Efforts are being made to bring the contractor back to site to complete the outstanding works. Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to encourage all contractors whose projects were awarded in 2024, who have vacated site. Mr. Speaker, majority of projects awarded in 2024 did not receive any commencement authorization, which is against the Public Financial Management Act. But that was done. So some of the contractors, knowing very well that
the finance minister came here and read the content of the Public Financial Management Act, thought that since the project, in their view, was illegitimate, they will not be paid. I want to encourage you, President Mahama's government is not going to terminate those projects. Go back to site and work. We shall regularize all those projects so that you will be paid when you carry out the work. But it is also important that government should avoid illegitimacy by awarding projects when you do not have commencement authorization for those works. So we should all learn from that. If you don't have authorization, you cannot. These laws are laws we passed. In fact, Mr. Speaker, one of the projects even was awarded in the constituency of the former finance minister, even also without the commencement authorization.
Do you have any supplementary?
Mr. Speaker, it's like the minister have not completed the answer. The second part of the answer is not completed. Let me just draw his attention.
Honorable Minister, is your answer in twofold? The answer as published.
Mr. Speaker, the answer is not in twofold. The answer is very simple. The project has stalled, and efforts are being made to complete that section. There's a portion which is currently not being worked on, and which engineering studies, and cost estimate will be provided when funds become available. We'll tackle those sections.
Yes. Do you now have a supplementary question?
Yeah. Right Honorable Speaker, my interest was just on it will be catered for in the next budget, so that at least I'll be sure that in the 2027
so
budget...
So you want to know whether or not it will be catered for in the next budget? That should be the question.
Mr. Speaker, the government of Ghana budget is actually approved in this house, not at the ministry. So whatever we approve is what will be done.
Yes. This is a consensus specific.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the road minister, I admire him a lot, but in his answer, he did indicate that many of the contracts that was awarded in 2024, they were without commencement authorization, and he cited example of the former finance minister's constituency, and that contractors should work. But I want to find out from him, based on what you said, contracts that were awarded in 2024, then they have award letter without commencement yet. Is it the case that they can work and then you regularize it based on what you said?
That's what exactly the minister said.
Mr. Speaker, my good friend asked this question because of a specific interest he's got. I am saying that those contractors who are already on site working, we have the data. However, some contractors also got their award letters without commencement authorization after the election. Some of them didn't go to site. If you haven't gone to site yet, please contact the agency before you go back to site, because you have opportunity now to make sure that that project is properly captured within the budget of this house, approved in this house before you go to site. But we are talking about those who have already been on site, work 47%, 50%. I believe President Mohammed's directive is that don't stop working, continue working. We shall regularize your contract. But if you haven't started work, it means that you haven't done anything. Please contact the agency that gave you the contract before you take any further action.
Members, on this note, on your behalf, I thank the Minister for Roads and Highways for attending upon the House to respond to all these questions. Honorable Minister, thank you sincerely. You are hereby discharged. Honorable Members, statement time is ended. Yes.
Speaker, the agreement is that we'll take motion number 10 so that we continue with the debates, Mr. Speaker, on the SONA. Thank you.
Members, continuation of the debate. So, honourable members, I proceed to give the floor to Honourable Dominic Nitiwul. You are speaking for 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the motion and to thank the President for coming to do his constitutional duty. But, Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, maybe it's your prophecy for 2040. 2 terms after.
Honourable Nitiwul, don't give me problems.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. President spoke of some arrears that were left with the military because of CI 129. I just want to state that that is not correct. Mr. Speaker, we did not leave any arrears. We actually brought in the new CI to correct an imbalance that we observed when we came into power. We realized that the military had very bad conditions of service. In fact, they were one of the worst of the entire security agencies. So we corrected it. And because of that, a lot of them, their salary levels were brought to the level of many other security agencies. In addition to that, we added 5 years to their length of service. Ordinarily, a military man who entered at 20 years was to retire compulsorily at 45 years. But now, that same military man will retire at 50 years because we added another 5 years. So the 1995 group that was to retire in 2020 had 5 years added to their years, Mr. Speaker. And so we did not leave any arrears because we could not have budgeted for people who were to retire in 2025. They were to retire in 2020, but because we added them 5 years, they will now retire 2025. And in Ghanaian way of budgeting through this house, we cannot be putting money down for their end of gratuity in 5 years' time. So we were not leaving any arrears. Arrears is accrued when you owe somebody, the payment is due, and you refuse to pay, or you don't have the resources to pay. But this time, it's not like that. Because we added the 5 years, their condition of service was enhanced. And because it was enhanced, Mr. Speaker, the gratuity became big. Together, the 3,000 people now government had to look for an extra 1 billion cedis to pay them because their condition of service was enhanced, but it is not arrears. The new government was to budget for them in 2025 budget, but the government decided that they would pay them the old rate using the old CI, and the military people rejected it. So I called Atu, the finance minister, and advised him that, look, you have to pay them the new rate because the old CI is no more. So you have to pay them using the new CI. And now they've promised to resolve the problem. So I just want to state that there is nothing like arrears. We have never set up any arrears. Mr. Speaker, the second one has to do with prices of food and other agricultural products. Mr. Speaker, the bulk of our people, close to 70% or more, are involved in agriculture. Mr. Speaker, that is basically the truth. There are other farmers, or they sell, or they are the middlemen, or they are within the chain of agricultural services. Mr. Speaker, the 5 ingredients that would allow a farmer to produce a bag of maize, or produce yam, or produce cassava, or produce rice, have all gone up. So tractor services, Mr. Speaker, have gone up for the farmers. Yes, per acre has gone up everywhere in Ghana. 2, the price of the transportation of taking foodstuff from the farm gate to the market has gone up. 3, Mr. Speaker, fertilizer has gone up during the Akufo-Addo time and now it has gone up. And 4, chemicals has gone up. And 5, what we call labor, our people call it by day, has all gone up. So all the 5 ingredients have all gone up. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the prices of foodstuff has slumped. So the farmer is the one who is suffering. If, Mr. Speaker, the government has decided to reduce tractor services, to reduce the fertilizer, to reduce transportation for the farmer, to reduce chemicals and labor, I would have clapped for the government. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, it is not the case. So today, a farmer who wanted to buy the Hajo motorbike, you know the Hajo motorbike, where they used to go to farm, he needed, it was 17,000. That motorbike was 17,000 Ghana cedi during the Akufo-Addo time. That farmer needed 17 bags of rice. Today, the same farmer needs 50 bags of rice. Yes. Mr. Speaker, the young farmer who was buying what we call supply, there's a type of yam that is because of the size, they call it supply. That farmer needed 3,000, that farmer needed 1,000 bags, 1,000 tubers of yam to buy the Hajo motorbike. Today, that same farmer needs close to 3,000 or 4,000 tubers of the same piece of yam to buy. Mr. Speaker, that cassava farmer, the cassava farmer who needed only 17 bags to buy that same Hajo motorbikes, that same cassava farmer had to produce 150 bags to buy that same Hajo motorbike. Mr. Speaker, the farmers of this country are suffering. The Hajo motorbike today is 15,000 cedis. From 17 is 15,000 cedis. The farmers are suffering. What crime have the farmers done? What crime have they done? They cannot roof their houses. They cannot buy Hajo motorbike. They cannot buy tricycles. They cannot, because they are really, really suffering. Why is the government doing this to the farmers? Why? You are all children of farmers. Why are you doing this to them? Why are you punishing your brothers? Why are you punishing your uncles? Why are you punishing your fathers? Pay the poor farmers. Let the farmers survive. They cannot breathe. Farmers cannot breathe. Let farmers survive. Mr. Speaker, there is something called Kama. I came here in 2022, Mr. Speaker, to say that Ghana needs a strategic airlift that can lift at least 50 people or 100 people. That could also serve as a presidential jet, if we call it that way. The foreign minister today was the one who went against it. He led a revolution. He led a revolution against it. Yes. In fact, he literally mobilized people. They lied on me. They lied on the president. Said all manner of things. Mr. Speaker, today we have a problem in the Gulf that we need to evacuate Ghanaians. What are we going to use to evacuate them? What are we going to use? Now today you have to evacuate Ghanaians. You are quiet. You cannot more talk about evacuation. When are you bringing Ghanaians home? When are you bringing Ghanaians home? I am saying to you that because of the bad things you said, today Ghanaians, our hands are tied. We have a lot of our citizens in Qatar, in Saudi, in Dubai, including you people, including government appointees. They are locked up in Dubai. Mr. Speaker, government should come and brief this house when they will bring Ghanaians home. How they are going to bring Ghanaians home? What will be the cost of bringing Ghanaians home? Mr. Speaker, Kama has caught up with Okujoto and the NDC. Kama has caught, if we had that aircraft, because that aircraft would have been here. That aircraft would have been here. We could have used that aircraft to go to Dubai and bring our people home. We could have used that aircraft to go to Qatar and bring our people home. We could have used that aircraft to go to Saudi and bring our people home. Today, you have no aircraft. Ghana has not one good aircraft that can do that. You have decided to rather go and purchase an aircraft for only the president. You are purchasing an aircraft that can take only 16 people. 16 people. That's what you did. We were looking at an aircraft that could bring at least 50 to 100 people. Today, you have gone to purchase an aircraft that can bring only 16 people. Only the president can use it. Why are you doing this to Ghanaians? Why are you doing this to Ghanaians? For your comfort. Today, Ghanaians are stranded in Dubai. They are stranded in Dubai. They are stranded in Saudi. You are saying nothing as a government. Every government is evacuating their citizens. And you have tied your hands and you are quiet. Come and brief us. That is what is called leadership. I came here to brief the House. During COVID, we carried Ghanaians. We brought down Ghanaians. We went around the world and brought Ghanaians. Today, you people, you cannot even brief us. Ghanaians are trying to bring them home. But let me conclude, Mr. Speaker. I want to conclude by saying that we have paper economy and the economy in the pocket. What the president came to reach is paper economy to make people happy. But the economy in the pocket is very dry. Very.
Honourable members, it's now the turn of Honourable Ampim Nyako, Deputy Minister for Finance. You are speaking for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to join honourable members who have earlier spoken to thank His Excellency President Mahama for coming to the House to deliver the state of the nation. And Mr. Speaker, before I start, I want to find out what kind of barter system was Honourable Nitiwu talking about, speaking about sacks of yam that was being exchanged for an abobo yam that has increased. If previously 1 sack of yam was being exchanged for another commodity, and today you need 3 sacks of the same yam to do it. The simple thing you should know is that the price of yam has gone down. This is vindicating our position that things are cheaper. Food is cheaper today than it was during the time that you are talking about. Mr. Speaker, if you were a former president or a former vice president and you superintended over an economy that almost collapsed, and you have your successor delivering a State of the Nation address only 1 year after you handed over, and is going to talk about a marked improvement in the economy, would you be bold to come and sit in the same hall and listen to him humiliate you? No, I wouldn't do that, and you wouldn't do it. That is why the former president and his vice were conspicuously missing in on such an important occasion to come and listen to the State of the Nation address. But Mr. Speaker, to better appreciate the current state of our economy and the enormous work that has gone into bringing the economy to this state, it is important that we remind ourselves of what President Mahama inherited. President Mahama inherited an economy at a high risk of debt distress. In fact, in 2022, his predecessor had announced a debt default. He had told the whole world that we owe you, but we can't pay. That followed with the painful debt restructuring, with the painful haircut that you are all familiar with, Mr. Speaker, and a subsequent IMF program. But Mr. Speaker, by 2024 December, when the new administration took over, the IMF program had derailed. We had missed major targets under the fund program. Inflation target had been missed. In fact, the inflation target for end year 2024 was 18%. We missed it by more than 5.8%. We ended 2024 with an inflation of as high as 23.8%. Mr. Speaker, net change in payables, which was supposed to be zero, had also been missed. We had accumulated arrears, central government and energy sector arrears, in excess of 45.6 billion cedis. So clearly the IMF program had derailed. It had to take President Mahama, his finance minister Ato Forson, and the team a bold fiscal consolidation measures to ensure that we bring the fund program back on track. And we did this with 3 strong pillars: expenditure rationalization, enhanced revenue mobilization, and prudent debt management. Mr. Speaker, for the first time under the fund program, and for the first time in recent history of this economy, we actually achieved key targets ahead of schedule. Debt to GDP criteria, which was to be achieved by 2034, was achieved at the end of 2025. We achieved debt to GDP ratio of 45.3% ahead of time. Mr. Speaker, inflation target for 2025 was 8%. We ended the year 2025 with an inflation of 5.4%. When you were running around the country shouting, "It is possible, it is possible," did you think that this was possible? Mr. Speaker, for the first time, we ended the year without accumulating any arrears at all. Mr. Speaker, it is not only inflation that has reduced consistently over the last 13 months. Interest rates have also followed the same downward trend. The 91-day Treasury bill rate declined significantly from your 27.7% to the current rate. In fact, we ended the year at 5.3%. Today, Statistical Service has announced a new inflation rate of 3.3%. Mr. Speaker, the policy rate has also gone down significantly, currently at 15.5%. With inflation consistently going down, we know that the policy rate is also going to reduce. The Ghana reference rate has also declined from 29.3% under you to 11.7% today. So today, Mr. Speaker, instead of government borrowing and crowding out private investors, we have taken a policy decision to crowd in private investment. Mr. Speaker, today, people are able to borrow at 11%, 10%. During your tenure, banks were lending at 40%. What business can you borrow at 40% and be able to pay interest and make profit apart from selling cocaine? What business can you do? Mr. Speaker, apart from all this, in only 1 year of President Mahama's administration, we have recapitalized NIB, ADB, and CBG. For us, our policy is that we would rather spend to save banks than spend to collapse them. That is why I've been advising you, my sister Abdul Seyasare, Steka, and Dr. Amin Anta, that begin a process to unlearn everything Kanuforiata taught you and come and learn under the maverick Dr. Atufosin in your own interest. Mr. Speaker, look, President Mahama made a statement, and it's on page 7 of the statement. He says, and I quote, "Looking at Ghana's restructured debt profile, it is clear that the negotiations on our side were intended on knocking the can down the road with the largest repayment schedules between 2025 and 2028. Mr. Speaker, the debt restructuring program that you did, the DDEP, look at how you scheduled the payments. 2023, 8.5 billion. 2024, 19.5 billion. Then from 2025, 20.2 billion. 2026, 22.2 billion. 2027, 56.4 billion is what we are expecting us to pay. And 2028, 51.2 billion. That is why His Excellency the President said you negotiated this with the intention to knock the can down the road for somebody else to come and lift it. But guess what? We are making provision to be able to meet all this debt when they fall due. Between last year and this year, we have paid in excess of 31 billion cedis. Look, we have established both cedi and dollar sinking fund accounts. Dr. Atufosin has sought cabinet approval, and every month we are setting aside 7% of our non-oil tax revenue to accumulate enough funds so that when they fall due, we can clear them. I want to tell you that if you thought we are going to default, we will not default today, we will not default tomorrow. That is why all rating agencies are recognizing what we are doing, and they are rating us very, very significantly. Mr. Speaker, President Mahama told Ghanaians that he is on a mission to reset Ghana. True to his word, he has set a new standard in the Ghanaian economy. Mr. Speaker, today the new norm is a shift away from yesterday's volatile exchange rate to today's strong and stable cedi. Mr. Speaker, Today, President Mahama has set a new standard. Inflation that was high is now at a single digit, and we are sustaining it at a single digit. The new standard, the new norm, the economic reset is to make sure that our debt is sustainable. The norm is to move away from yesterday's indiscipline to today's disciplined economic management. And the new norm is to move away from yesterday's wastage to today's frugality. Mr. Speaker, I heard the minority saying that will we eat macroeconomic indicators? And I want to say to him that yes, we eat macroeconomic indicators. That is why when a sack of maize was 1,600 under your regime, today it is 800 cedis. We eat macroeconomic indicators. We eat macroeconomic indicators. That is why
Honorable member, your time is up. It's now the time of Honorable Davis Opoku Ansa. You are speaking.
Thank you very much, Mr.
For
Speaker.
10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, whilst my colleague, Honorable Deputy Finance Minister, was on the floor speaking, I had a call from his constituency, and the man, John Fachi, a known cocoa farmer in Old Akradi. The gentleman is wondering if this is his MP. Is that the MP for a Sojaman constituency? Today, the MP, the cocoa farmer is asking his MP that today you are talking about macro and micro economic indicators. When indeed he is unable to get money to buy his BP drugs. We leave that to his conscience, and I think that his constituents are watching him. He may say that today they eat macroeconomic indicators. That's true. But Mr. Speaker, Article 67 of the Constitution is very clear. It requires that the President delivers a message on the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, Article 179 of the Constitution also states that the President shall cause to be prepared and lay before Parliament estimates of revenue and expenditure. So in practice, we see the Finance Minister come before us to present what I call budget statement and economic policy of government. Mr. Speaker, what we saw from the President last week was just large portions of addresses that consisted of future spending plans and projections, rather than an honest description of the present state of the economy. Mr. Speaker, why the State of the Nation address is important is that the Ghanaian person, the Ghanaian people, the young man sitting in Mpraiso, the young man in Esojaman, wants to know the current state of affairs in this country. He wants to know why Dumso is on the rise. He wants to know why cocoa prices have been slashed. He wants to know why the ordinary cocoa farmer is unable to even get his money. And you come here and all we hear of the President are future projections when the Finance Minister is clothed with that powers to be doing that. But Mr. Speaker, I want to veer into a very critical sector, which is the telecom sector. Mr. Speaker, the silence of the government, and for that matter, the President, on the activities of 80, formerly Airtel to Go, is quite worrying. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, we have about 300 employees of 80's job on the line. We have about 3.3 million Ghanaians whose network is on 80, wondering what next for them. Mr. Speaker, it's been near 2 years of this government. They've said nothing about 80. The people of 80 do not know their fate, and I think it's important that something is said about it. Are you laying them off? Are we allowing 80 to collapse? What is government strategic plan for 80? What is the ministry strategic plan for 80? And this is what the Ghanaian people wanted the President to say. Mr. Speaker, indeed, 80 commands about 8 million of the subscriber shares and 8% of the subscriber shares in this country. And if you want to allow this strategic partner, strategic investment just to go off, Mr. Speaker, I think it's worrying. And we urge the Ministry of Communication, for that matter, the government, to come clean on it. We want a clear direction on 80. In fact, young workers at 80 are wondering what is next for them in the next 3 months. If something is not done on 80, Mr. Speaker, the company is going to collapse. Are we going to watch this company collapse in this era? I think it's something that the government must take serious. Mr. Speaker, the President, in delivering his speech, talked about the 1 million coders program. Mr. Speaker, what is a bit intriguing about the 1 million coders program is that it seems to be a flagship program of the John Mahama administration. But even funding for the 1 million coders program have been problematic. And I'm happy that the Deputy Finance Minister is here. Mr. Speaker, last year, Cabinet had to cause National Communications Authority to fund the purchase of computers under the 1 million coders program. And Mr. Speaker, this is a clear violation of Public Financial Management Act. Cabinet, and for that matter, the President, cannot cause an institution of state to fund another institution of faith when it's not budgeted for. And I think that is something that should not be encouraged. What is a bit more worrying is that the Ministry of Communication intends to purchase one computer for 14,000 Ghana cedis. If you look at the projections, today a laptop is going to be purchased for 140 million under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's administration. 140 million under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's administration. We are wondering what proper procurement measures were put in place to ensure that there's value for money. One, you are violating the Public Financial Management Act. Two, you are overpricing prices. In fact, Mr. Speaker, just a trip to Osu here will indicate that a high-end computer that should be used for coding should not cost more than 10,000 Ghana cedis. But today, when the ministry intends to purchase over 2,000 pieces of computer, they are purchasing one for 14,000 Ghana cedis, 140 million. Mr. Speaker, if this is not chop, then I'm wondering how much is my phone? How much is the computer? Mr. Speaker, so clearly, you see that this government is engaged in chop, for want of word. That people are creating avenues to just milk the state. People are creating avenues to just, for want of word, pickpocket the ordinary Ghanaian on this country. And Mr. Speaker, it's important that we bring this to the attention of the Ghanaian. The Ghanaian people who have lost their jobs at the National Communications Authority want to know their fate. The Ghanaian people who have lost their jobs at Ghana Post want to know their fate. The Ghanaian people who have lost their jobs and today are sitting in houses want to know their fate. That is the current state of the economy, and not coming to tell us projections of things that you want to do. The current state is that the Ghanaian people are crying. The Deputy Finance Minister said that today yam is cheap, and so we should take it like that. Mr. Speaker, the reality is that today yam is not cheap, but yams are packed in sacks in the north, and there's nobody to buy it. That is the reality. Mr. Speaker, even when you have reduced cocoa prices, what is happening is that even the cocoa cratchits are unable to buy the cocoa. They are unable to buy the cocoa, and we sit here, put on red ties, put on our big shoes, and we create an impression that the economy has improved and that the Ghanaian should applaud the NDC government for that. The Ghanaian should applaud the NDC government for that. Mr. Speaker, what I'm telling our colleagues is that we were on that side of the aisle a while ago. The things that led the MPP to opposition I started too early under the NDC administration. And I can tell them, if he thinks that today, like he trumped the last time, like my former colleague who is deceased, John Kuma said that we will not go today or will not go tomorrow. Today, Ampim Dako is repeating same. Ampim Dako is repeating same, telling Ghanaians that we will not default today, we will not default tomorrow. The reality will soon dawn on them. The reality will soon dawn on them, and they will realize that the Ghanaian has the power to change things in this country. Mr. Speaker, we are suffering. The ordinary man on the streets of Impriso is suffering. There's no jobs. There are no jobs. In fact, the cocoa farmer cannot buy his BP drugs. The cocoa farmer cannot pay school fees. The cocoa farmer cannot even afford 3 square meals. Cannot afford 3 square meals. And you sit here to talk about macro and microeconomic indicators. We leave that to your judgment, and we know that the Ghanaian will be vindicated very soon in this country. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Honourable members, second deputy speaker should take the chair. Whilst I give the floor to Honourable Dr. Jasau Seidu Godfred. You are speaking for 10 minutes. You have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for the opportunity to contribute to comment on the message from the President on the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I keep wondering when my colleagues actually left government. Mr. Speaker, I didn't know that OPK had become a stammerer. I didn't know at all. Mr. Speaker, I've also observed that everything said today so far from the other side have had some mixtures of cocoa. So everything is about cocoa. Mr. Speaker, but the issues about the cocoa subsector is clear. Whether you cook it, you fry it, you boil it, whatever you do, the issue is clear. That Cocoa Board has bought majority of the quantities of cocoa produced in this country. And it has bought it at a price that the farmers are happy with. Mr. Speaker, and that the quantity left is estimated at about 70,000 metric tons. And that is responding to world price of cocoa. Mr. Speaker, and that we don't have anything to fear at all because our neighbors have in stock about 500,000 metric tons of cocoa that they don't know what to do with. And so, Mr. Speaker, if they don't believe this reality about it, they should go and urge our farmers there to smuggle it to Cote d'Ivoire and sell. Because they can't sell it there. Yes, so Mr. Speaker, they know the reality and they are trying to twist issues and make it as if cocoa is going down and that no farmer is benefiting. That's not the truth, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, but beyond cocoa, there is Ghana and there's agriculture and there's food sufficiency. Mr. Speaker, Ghana is investing $500 million in what we call the red gold. That is oil palm. Mr. Speaker, this investment is targeted at ensuring that we diversify our tree subcrop sector so that we can be able to de-risk ourselves from the vagaries of cocoa that we face every year in, out, and out. Mr. Speaker, there is also this reality, whether you like it or not, that the living conditions of the average Ghanaian has improved. And that one of the indicators of it is how much he or she spends on food. And that
By end 2024, food price inflation was actually around 28%. Today, food price inflation is 4.9%. Mr. Speaker, this is the truth and this is the data. And so what it means is that with less money in your pocket, you are able to afford food to feed your family and sustain your livelihoods. Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank the President for bringing these notices, this information to our notice as a House, and to commend him for taking steps to contribute to achieving these phenomenal achievements. Mr. Speaker, there are a number of contributory factors to this. One of them is that there has been a lot of effort in providing logistics for extension services, which is supposed to contribute to improving the productive economy of our agricultural subsector. Some motorbikes have been given already, 540 motorbikes, 150 has been distributed. So these days, our extension officers are able to move to give extension services to our farmers. Mr. Speaker, employment. We have the Feed Ghana program that is ongoing. Government has already employed about 400 Feed Ghana coordinators across the country already. And 10,000 young Ghanaians have been engaged in what we call agripreneurship. This is expected to strengthen the frontline service delivery of agriculture in the way we are moving it to, creating employment opportunities for young people, particularly women and young people. Mr. Speaker, one other important ingredient that the current agriculture is introducing is farmer cooperatives. These farmer cooperatives are actually community commodity farmer cooperatives, which is targeted at reducing the corruption often observed in input distribution. Now, about 70,000 of these commodity cooperatives have already been registered. What that means is that in input distribution, you are going to target the cooperatives and ensure that inputs, the right inputs, get to the right farmers at the time that they need them. It means accessibility is going to be improved, mechanization will be improved, extension services will be improved, and then climate advisory services will be improved as well. Mr. Speaker, one other reason why we achieved this was the aggressive pursuit of agro-industrial investment. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Agric and his team has been very aggressive in courting international support and financing investment in agri-processing. One that is being reported right now is 154 million Italy-Ghana integrated irrigated agricultural commercial farming. Mr. Speaker, this is expected to cultivate 10,000 hectares of a model farm that will show that rice can be produced all year round, maize can be produced all year round, soya can be produced all year round, and tomato can be produced all year round. Mr. Speaker, there are investments in this direction to set up rice processing facilities in Upper East region, soya facility in Northern region, cashew processing facility in Bono East region, and so on. Mr. Speaker, these are expected to take the excess production that we are witnessing so far in the agricultural space. Mr. Speaker, the President announced to us, Mr. Speaker, the President announced of a 300 million investment in national food buffer stock. Mr. Speaker, that 300 is so critical because we are not leaving agricultural investment at production. We are leaving the investment at a time where, when they produce, you have a market to take them. And the state agency, National Food Buffer Stock, is creating that environment where they can go mop up this excess produce at the farm gate at minimum guaranteed price that the farmer doesn't lose, and that the glut that we talk about and complain about can be contained. Mr. Speaker, we are trying to reduce imports of food. So, for example, in poultry, we are implementing what we call the Poultry Farm to Table program. And that, one aspect of it is the almighty Nkoko Kitinkiti. Nkoko Kitinkiti will not just give you meat, it will also give layers where we can have added value, where you get eggs, to be able to feed and also contribute for food security. Mr. Speaker, we have 50 anchor farmers that are already dealing with 4 million birds. Mr. Speaker, these are efforts that are aimed at contributing to reduction in the poultry import bill of our country. We're already spending about $300 to $400 million annually to import only poultry products and poultry. And so this is aimed at reducing that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one thing that I want us to take home is that the president came to present the state of the nation. The state of the nation is that we don't have price jumps as we witnessed 2 years ago. We don't. The business environment is stable. We are attracting more investors into the agri space because at least you can predict what the macroeconomy is. And so, Mr. Speaker, we call on our colleagues to recognize that this is the way to go and that there is a direct shift away from the kind of governance that they gave us, and that we are giving responsible governance that is culminating into the kind of dividends that we are all witnessing. So come on board, let's attack the issues the way they are, let's be united in praising and thanking the president for sailing this ship in the direction that we all desire. Let's encourage him to make sure that we achieve what we have to achieve together as a country. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the statement.
Honorable members, let's now turn to Honorable Dr. Gideon Boako.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
You are ranking.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, we listened to the President at the State of the Nation address. As we know, it's an opportunity for the President to tell us about his stewardship, especially at this time for the first year. Mr. Speaker, as a young person listening to the President and picturing the mind of the young people of this country, I got a bit disappointed. In the 2025 State of the Nation address presented by the President, there was a lot of lamentations. And we thought that after 12 months of heavy talks and yet little action, the President was going to speak to tangibles and not just resort to lamentations. Mr. Speaker, what the President did that I think was not proper and did not situate well within the parameters of the office that he holds was the attempt to take a swipe at the previous government and what he sought to put the government in a very bad picture. Mr. Speaker, the President has spent 12 months in office, and it makes sense that we measure what he has done today as against what his predecessor government also did. We know the government of the previous government, led by Nana Akufo-Addo, did not carry Ghanaians to the heavens, as no one can do. But at least in his first 12 months, we know what he was able to do. We know that in the first 12 months of the previous government, the economy expanded. The government was able to increase the size of this economy from 3.4% to about 7%. Inflation was down, the exchange rate stability was achieved, and we had for the first time in a decade a primary balance surplus. Once the previous government was able to do all of this in 12 months, it was able to stay put to key manifesto promises and pledges. In the first 12 months of the previous government, the free SHS program was set in motion. Planting for food and jobs was set in motion. The teacher training allowance that was cancelled by Mr. Mohammed's previous government was restored. The nurses training allowance was also restored. BEC examination fees were absorbed. Likewise, that of SS Wasi. And again, there was no increase in electricity tariffs in the first 12 months of the previous MPP government. Whilst doing this, in 12 months, there was a clear-cut policy direction for job creation through the one district, one factory, NAPCO, and the rest. Mr. Speaker, fast forward, we are in 2026, after 12 wasteful months of President Mahama's government. Yes, we have seen inflation go down, but Mr. Speaker, the conversations on the market today is that despite lower inflation, prices of goods and services are on the ascendancy. Mr. Speaker, we have seen stability in our currency, albeit artificial. But Mr. Speaker, what is striking is that relative to the previous government's 12 months, the 12 months of this government has not restored the teacher trainee allowance because it's already there, but rather teacher trainees are fed once a day instead of 3 square meals a day. After 12 months in office, President Mahama's government is unable to pay a section of our nurses, and he owes them months of arrears that he has not paid. After 12 months in office, we have a section of Ghanaian teachers who have toiled and worked, yet they are not receiving salaries. Mr. Speaker, worst of it, our farmers feed us. They toil, they go through the pain, they go through hardships to put food on our table. As we speak today, our farmers are worse off today under President Mahama than they were under the previous government after 12 months in office. Cocoa farmers are crying. The Honorable Kojo Ponkrumah is sitting behind me. Yesterday we were in his constituency, and the sad story of our cocoa farmers whose cocoa producer prices have been slashed down by this government, so insensitive that we are touching the very core of our foundation as living beings, which is food. That is so bad, Mr. Speaker. And worst of it all, the Ghanaian young people who were hypnotized by the tuneful melodies of Prr, Sapr, Onapo, and the rest, hoping that this government will come and there will be a policy called 133 and a 24-hour economy to provide jobs for them, are in hopeless situation because there is no jobs. When the president had the opportunity to talk about job situations in this country for the young people of Ghana, he rather misled the young people of this country with wrong figures, claiming he had created 1 million jobs, non-existent jobs. Mr. Speaker, how can the president be so insensitive and callous to the extent that when he's talking about the things that matter so well to the young people of this country, he's not candid about it, he's not truthful about it? That is the situation we find ourselves in. Mr. Speaker, there is something happening in this country. What is happening in this country is so bad. There is a criminally minded attempt to loot the resources of this country. We were told in this country that between September and December 2025, 18 tons of Ghana's gold reserves were sold. Mr. Speaker, what was the rationale for the sale of the gold? At the time we were selling Ghana's gold, 18 tons, we had excess foreign exchange reserves. So there was no need for that. We sold the gold at $3,500 per ounce, and fast forward a few months later, the finance minister is telling us that we rather have to buy more gold at 5,500 tons. Mr. Speaker, I suspect insider trading in the sale of the gold reserves. Insider trading in the sense that some people somehow in government knew that the gold prices were going to go high. They sold it cheap to themselves, and today they want to sell it back to the Ghanaian people and profit from that. That is what is happening. Mr. Speaker, that is my suspicion. Mr. Speaker, that is my suspicion. And Mr. Speaker, if you grant me this opportunity, we need a bipartisan inquiry into the sale of the 18 tons of gold in this country. We need a bipartisan inquiry because, Mr. Speaker, we cannot sit in this country when managers of the economy know that gold prices are increasing, they sell 18 tons of our gold, which were in reserves, at a lower price, and 5 or 3 months down the line, they come back to tell Ghanaians that we need to buy more gold. Who bought the 18 tons of gold? Has the gold been shipped out of the country? If it is not shipped out of the country, we should know who bought it. We shall not sit down for those who bought the gold cheap to come back, sell it to us at exorbitant prices and benefit from that price disparity. Mr. Speaker, that is my suspicion. That is my suspicion. And if that is the case, then there is a criminal attempt to steal and loot the gold resources of our country that we should not allow. Mr. Speaker, when the Deputy Finance Minister was speaking, he talked about the fact that the credit rating agencies are rating the country very well. Mr. Speaker, it is important for my brothers in government to know that whatever gains they are having on the economy side, where credit is due, they have to credit that authority and that source. Mr. Speaker, if you take the Public Debt Management Report 2025, as was signed by Mr. Minister Toforson, he acknowledges in the penultimate paragraph that Ghana's credit ratings improved in 2024, demonstrating significant progress made in the restructuring process. S&P and Fitch all affirmed the foreign currency ratings at selective default and restricted default, respectively. Mr. Speaker, what it tells you is that from 2024, despite all the difficulties we went through, pragmatic policies were put in place for the economy to recover, and hence the rating agencies started rating our currencies, economy in the good light. Today, if that path has continued, it is not just by the creativity of this government. It is a government in continuum. What
Honorable members, let's now turn to Honorable Zuwaira Mohammed Ibrahim. Honorable member, you are chairperson. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the debate on the inspiring and forward-looking message on the state of the nation delivered by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama to this August House on Friday, 27 December 2026. Mr. Speaker, before I delve into my substantive debate, I wish my brother Honorable Nitiwo is still here. I want to remind him and probably draw his mind to the fact that his constituents in Bimbila, listening to him today, are not going to be too happy with him. His constituents have felt the new governance that the presidency of President John Dramani Mahama has offered to this country in the last 1 year. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Otibles is here. Honorable Stanley is in this house. Honorable Geoffrey Kinney is here. And the Honorable Minister for Roads himself is sitting here. Mr. Speaker, I wish Honorable Nitiwo will come and tell us the state of the Sabongida Bimbila Road since the NDC assumed power. He should come and tell this house the state of the Banda from Sibi to Pasa to Nkwanta Road since the NDC came to power. He should come and tell us the state of that road. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Nitiwo is my neighbor, and so we all travel that road. When we go on recess and we are coming back, we use that road back to Accra. That is the West-Eastern Corridor. And Mr. Speaker, in 1 year, the work that has gone on that road, if you knew the road in 2024, If you go there today, you will not recognize the road. That is the work that His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has done. And that is the work that reduces the cost of commerce for the farmers in Honorable Nitiwu's constituency when they have to cut their produce to the Pasa market, to Nkwanta to sell. Because the road is more travel, it's less expensive to travel, the vehicles don't break down, the yams don't get rotten on the road, and so the farmers are able to recoup the full cost of their investment. Mr. Speaker, our elders said, and I'll say this in Chi, that we yimaya nembo midi bone. To wit, that if you won't praise me, please don't spoil my name. And that is what Honorable Nitiwu did today. If he will not praise His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama for an excellent job in 1 year, he should just keep mute, because he's a beneficiary of the good works of His Excellency the President. Mr. Speaker, the President's address is a testament to resolute leadership, fiscal discipline, and a clear vision for national renewal. Why do I say this, Mr. Speaker? We're all in this country. For 8 years, we saw reckless economic mismanagement, we saw runaway debts, we saw policy inconsistency. The free senior high school, Mr. Speaker, it came without a policy. And widespread hardship inflicted on the people of Ghana. I was surprised to hear my brother talk about the free senior high school. You see, he should have maybe apologized to parents and the students who went through the free senior high school for the 8 years before making his statements. Mr. Speaker, why do I say that? For the one year and 2 months that His Excellency has been in power, has anyone, anywhere in this country, heard that students are complaining about no food, that they've been given poor food, that there is no food in their schools? This is good governance. This is governance anchored on making the people good. You don't implement a policy, and every day there was strike, every day Charles was holding conferences, every day petitioning Parliament, petitioning the presidency, mothers were carrying gari and shito all over the place, and you come and sit here and tell us that you had free. Compare your 8 years record, free SHS record, to the 1 year and 2 months record of president. Just compare, do that by yourself. Mr. Speaker, inflation, which had become a bane that all of us suffered. You wake up in the morning, you can't budget, you can't plan, because you don't know where next food prices and service costs were going. Today, Ghanaians can plan. Ghanaians know that the cedi has been stabilized. And as President Mahama said, we didn't lock it. We just designed good fiscal and financial policies to strengthen the cedi. So the cedi is a strong currency. Today, in my constituency of Salaga, sugar, 50 kg bag of sugar, Mr. Speaker, that in 2024 I bought at 900 Ghana cedis. This Ramadan, month of Ramadan, I bought the sugar for 500 Ghana cedis. So if you sit on that side and tell me that nothing has happened, you haven't seen, then you are probably not living in this country. Mr. Speaker, governance. 80% of the District Assembly Common Fund is released directly to the districts. with clear guidelines. And Mr. Speaker, if they've forgotten, I will refresh their minds. In the guidelines, we are supposed to construct 2 chip compounds every year. Multiply that by 261 and ask its impact on the quality of health service and health delivery in this country. In 261 districts, every year we are building 2 chip compounds. We are building 2 schools. We are constructing 10 boreholes where there is no water. Mr. Speaker, environment has an allocation in the guidelines. School furniture is all captured. These are the guidelines that the MMDCs are supposed to rely on to develop their districts. For the first time, this represents the true meaning of decentralization, that we can go to our districts and count and know that this is what we are. We are hoping that in the next 4 years, most communities will be covered with schools and clinics. Mr. Speaker, infrastructure, when we talk about road, and when the president said that the whole country, and I quote, is a construction site, he was just not using words. He meant it both literally and metaphorically. Literally to the extent that there is policy underpinning the provision of roads and construction of infrastructure in this country. And Mr. Speaker, we can talk about the big push. Over 1,000 kilometers of roads are currently under construction under the Big Push program. And all of us know what the debilitating roads that we inherited January 2025 meant for us. So any improvement on that road does not only represent passage, it means improving on the quality . They'll travel more comfortably .
Thank you. Let me now turn to Honorable Akwasi Kunadu. 5 minutes.
Come again. Let's guys 10 minutes. Was that 10 minutes? It's 10 minutes. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Let him be clear with it.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to the comment on the state of the nations. Mr. Speaker, I rise not only to comment, Mr. Speaker, but to measure words against reality, and also promises that are made to performance of the president, as well as rhetorics, Mr. Speaker, against results. In 2024, the campaign of the NDC, led by the president, they made very emphatic statements, Mr. Speaker, commitment. These were not casual words, Mr. Speaker. Solemn pledges that they made. What are the standards today? What is the state of our country today, Mr. Speaker? When it's 4 o'clock, just walk by the road. You see the multitude of Ghanaians struggling to find a vehicle to go home. Shortages of transportation, and you are here glorifying yourself that everything is well. Mr. Speaker, no problem. Let the handlers of the president understand and differentiate between Article 67 and 179. There is no more promises when you are here for Article 67, Mr. Speaker. The president made solemn promises and very decisive ones in the area of fighting against illegal small-scale mining activities. He was decisive. He said he was going to wage an uncompromising war, Mr. Speaker. He told us that they were going to make sure that our river bodies, Mr. Speaker, were cleared of debris. Mr. Speaker, he was going to reclaim our river bodies for us, restore our forests, Mr. Speaker, and end the culture of impunity in the illegal small-scale mining activities in this country. What do we find now, Mr. Speaker? Our rivers are choked. They are choking to death, Mr. Speaker. The state of River Pra is polluted, and Cobra is distressed. Ofin is under siege. And Mr. Speaker, blame, Mr. Speaker, white and black voter, Mr. Speaker, Oti, they are trying to have their last breath of survival. And that is the state of the Ghanaian economy in terms of the fight against illegal small-scale mining. That is the state of our economy. So if you are here to give us poetic renditions of your own State of the Nation's address, Mr. Speaker, that is not a problem. Mr. Speaker, he promised us that the fight will be swift and ruthless. What do we see now, Mr. Speaker? We have excavators that are appearing at night like ghosts in our forest reserves. Mr. Speaker, all that you see are task force who appear and disappear without any lasting deterrence. Mr. Speaker, it is only about renaming of policies and relaunching of operations that is happening in this country, causing us calamities, of which one befell us on the 8th of August last year. Mr. Speaker, it is no joke. That is the state of our nation now. Mr. Speaker, the fight against small-scale illegal mining activities in this country is now a state-protected organization and institution. The culture of impunity, Mr. Speaker, and the protection of kingdoms, Mr. Speaker, is rampant in the fight against small-scale mining activities. Galamsey is rampant everywhere. You can sit there because you are using the proceeds of that is gold, to manage the economy, selling reserves, digging our forest reserves, digging the river beds in this country just to make sure you can sustain the economy. But bear in mind, just as the now Governor of the Bank of Ghana said that gold is finite, the Speaker, it will come to an end. And you now would have to run the economy and this country on your own steam and brains, Mr. Speaker. Let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, you cannot be declaring a war in Accra whilst small-scale activities happening in the forest. Mr. Speaker, the protection of these individuals is so glaring. Go to the Ashanti region. The NDC first vice chairman called Captain Jabali retired. He's now the national security coordinator in the region. Last 2 weeks, Mr. Speaker, on radio, he openly, Mr. Speaker, openly accused the NDC chairman for Kwangoma that he is using the national security people that he has employed. Mr. Speaker, that he has employed. The same way, Mr. Speaker, Samuel Inson, the deputy liaison officer of the national security, accused the same person that, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, he only came to arrest them. If you think I am lying, it has found reflection, Mr. Speaker. It has found reflection in the Fraser Institute for Survey of under the last 1 year. Mr. Speaker, let me go ahead. When you talk about youth employment or youth unemployment and the expectation of the youth, all that you would hear, Mr. Speaker, is that we are bringing you 133. Mr. Speaker, no problem. If you are using 133, that is the 24-hour economy, to find jobs for people, septuagenarians, Mr. Speaker, it is not a problem. But I would want to say this. Maybe it is said in our Kan adage that a baby behu and eso. To it, maybe in the dying embers, Mr. Speaker, prosperity can shine on you. But let me tell the Ghanaian youth that went out there singing praises for the NDC to come to power. And a baby behu and eso, you must find and request for your pound of flesh today from them, Mr. Speaker, because otherwise they will be using you as bikers, shouting on top, let us go, Mr. Speaker, and 5K men. At the end of the day, they will be using it to find jobs for people who are not. Mr. Speaker, graduates are still waiting to find employment. Mr. Speaker, the youth are still wandering between ambition and abandonment. Mr. Speaker, the youth cannot wait anymore. They cannot wait anymore, Mr. Speaker. We must find a way, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that whatever we promise, Mr. Speaker, these people get it. Mr. Speaker, let's go. They talk about the figures are coming down. Mr. Speaker, it's indeed true. The dollar is down. The city has appreciated. Mr. Speaker, it's true. Inflation is down, Mr. Speaker. Yes, it's true. But, Mr. Speaker, what is heir to a dead man? Mr. Speaker, what is heir to a dead man? I'm not surprised, Mr. Speaker. The dead ghost syndrome is still back. Mr. Speaker, our mothers at KJTia, at Moro Market, Mr. Speaker, our mothers at Abinchi Market, Mr. Speaker, our mothers at race course, they don't read macroeconomics, they count their coins. Mr. Speaker, that is what they do. So if you tell them the exchange rate is down, Mr. Speaker, fuel prices are down, Mr. Speaker, inflation is down, Mr. Speaker, they go home and count their coins and as to how the real purchasing power of those coins can buy. Mr. Speaker, cost of living is still high. Cost of utilities are high, Mr. Speaker. People are suffocating under the cost of living in this country. Go onto the social media where you want power from and go and listen to the Ghanaian youth complaining about the high tariffs that they are paying. Mr. Speaker, I stand here. I used to pay 310 Ghana cedis a month. Mr. Speaker, now I pay 740 Ghana cedis. And you are telling me cost of living on what? Mr. Speaker, utilities, light bill alone. Light bill alone. Mr. Speaker, if you go to Adubinso in the Ashanti region, the chiefs had cause to complain about prolonged power outages in their communities. And you are here telling me you have good utilities and you have power ongoing. Mr. Speaker, let us be careful. When we are entrusted with political power, the rhetorics would one day catch up with us. Mr. Speaker, economic recovery must be felt by the people, but not in the books of the managers of the economy. And that we must bear in mind as leaders of this country. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we would have no chance of going back to them. But, Mr. Speaker, I may want to end. And I may want to end on this. Mr. Speaker, history will be very unforgiving to leaders who campaign on absolute promises but only govern in excuses. That is what we found on this podium last Friday. Mr. Speaker, that is what we found on this podium. Mr. Speaker, the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, history wants to be good to him. But the rate at which he is going with the comeback that he had, Mr. Speaker, it is terrible that he may not be remembered by history in this country. And I say this, Mr. Speaker, leadership is not a poetic on the campaign grounds. Leadership is about performance. Mr. President, sit up and perform, please. Mr. Speaker, it is about delivering when the applause fades. It is not about backpassing when you are failing. You cannot, after 1 year, Mr. Speaker, still be complaining. And I'll urge the handlers of Mr. President, sit him up, tell him the realities on the ground. The Ghanaian people are suffering. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Let me turn to Honorable Dixon Chiredua. Honorable, you have 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Thank you,
Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the message of the nation eloquently delivered by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to this House last Friday. Mr. Speaker, the message on the state of the nation is not merely a ceremonial speech, but it is a constitutional obligation imposed upon the President pursuant to Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution. The state of the nation is a reflection of the living realities of the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the living reality is that probably
Mr. Speaker, the worst major road network in Ghana, from Djenedjene, Drobo, Sampa to Cote d'Ivoire, that 80-kilometer stretch, the reality now is it is fully under construction thanks to the big push. Mr. Speaker, the reality is that as a result of the massive and regular releases of the District Assembly's Common Fund, 80%, and we all know that as we speak, the third quarter has been released. Mr. Speaker, as a result of this, within 1 year, Brekum West, 2 chip compounds, 3 different classroom blocks, 23 boreholes, and 2 toilets at various stages of completion. That is the living reality of the situation. Mr. Speaker, permit me to divert my attention to sport. Last year, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama came to this house, he rallied all stakeholders in sports to help propel Ghana to the international stage. 1 year down the line, Mr. Speaker, the scorecard is that 8 World Cup qualifiers played, 7 won, 1 draw, and we are going for our 5th World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Mr. Speaker, right after our qualification, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama budgeted, appropriated, and ring and fence 150 million Ghana cedis for our preparation and participation in the World Cup. Mr. Speaker, the 2026 World Cup is not only for sporting benefits, but it is also a massive opportunity to market made in Ghana products. It is an opportunity to boost the tourism industry. Mr. Speaker, before I take my seat, let me take this opportunity once again to commend His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, our hard-working, our resilient, our result-oriented sports minister, and indeed the entire House, for the enactment of the Ghana Sports Fund Act 2025, Act 1159. This fund is going to provide sustainable funding for the development of sports. Mr. Speaker, by this action, it is a clear testament of President Mahama's commitment to the development of sports in Ghana. And let me remind our friends, if they've forgotten, the aggressive rollout of infrastructure at all sectors is including sport. For 2026 alone, the President has budgeted and appropriated over 200 million for 3 modern stadia in the country. This is the President who does not consider sports as an afterthought. But President Mahama considers sport as a very important socio-economic vehicle for the development of this country. Mr. Speaker, I would like to urge this House to embrace the message on the state of the nation eloquently delivered by His Excellency and to support the government in the agenda of resetting Ghana.
Honorable members, let's listen to Honorable Sami Ewuku, 5 minutes.
The Speaker, 15. The Speaker, 15. The Speaker, I rise to contribute to the ongoing debate concerning Mr. President's State of the Nation's address. And Mr. Speaker, permit me to also hold a mirror to the record of this government. So, Speaker, also permits me to do a minor surgery on the President's State of the Nation's address. Minor. So, Speaker, the President's address was delivered with all the confidence But confidence is not evidence when it comes to measuring with the realities on the ground. I would like to focus mainly on the issue of unemployment. Mr. Speaker, I also speak about the issue of the high utility tariffs. And then lastly, also convey the greetings of our cocoa farmers in the cocoa growing communities to you and the August House. Mr. Speaker, I took my time to track 112 commitments, pronouncements, promises, and bold vision as the President espoused together with his government in 2025 and that of the State of the Nation's address that he delivered. Mr. Speaker, out of the 112 commitments made by the President and his government in 2025, 38% were delivered, and a whooping 62%, they will tell you, still in the pipeline. Mr. Speaker, again, the President promised to tackle the issue of youth unemployment, and then also standing at approximately 2 million unemployed youth, according to the President in last year's State of the Nation's address. Interesting, the President declared that he had created 1 million jobs in his own State of the Nation's address in 2026. But these figures that Mr. President even delivered and mentioned is a complete variance with what his own government statistician told the Ghanaian people. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, 330,000 jobs cannot be the same as 1 million jobs created. You see that Mr. President was inaccurate in his delivery, or the government statistician also lied to the people of Ghana. What is more worrying from the report of the government statistician is that in Greater Accra alone, Mr. Speaker, 49.3% of the young people are unemployed. And this is according to their Quarter 3 report. What this means is that 1 in 2 young people in our capital city remain jobless. 1 in 2. Again, nearly 1 in 5 young Ghanaians aged between 15 to 35 years, that's approximately 1.95 million people, also remain outside the employment bracket. This should tell us something, that we need to move beyond the slogans of Nkoko Nkete and then the Instagram kind of governance that we are running, which is made to believe. Mr. Speaker, we need to move beyond the separate slogans and music to tackle the issues that we are currently also facing. Today, I'm happy that my colleagues on the majority side can find comfort and solace in micro and macroeconomic indicators. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what the Fomena people are telling you, but in the Krapim North, at the Mandela market and Adoso market, I cannot go tell them about micro and macroeconomic indicators when they are not feeling it in their pocket. Maybe my colleagues can direct these market women and my own constituents to be shopping at Adam Magbane's place and other places that I believe that the market and the figures being churned out reflect what is happening. Again, Mr. Speaker, just as you also know, I am confident that the 24-hour economy, the authority, in fact, the interesting aspect is that it was the signature campaign message of President Mahama. That's why as we speak today, the only honest statement in the President's Sona is that they aim to deliver this 24-hour economy. It cannot be just aiming. The cocoa farmers we visited yesterday, I was shocked to the bone when a mother could tell us that they've been feeding on Gari soakings, Gari Sakura, whereas our colleagues are jumping to Ethiopia. I believe that
Thank you very much, Honorable Samia Uku. Let me turn to Honorable Joseph Kwame Kuma. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on a very nicely presented State of the Nation address by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Kwame Ababio. Mr. Speaker, before I continue, unlike the MPPs, do you hear of any BC arrears not paid? Members, I'm asking you a question. Unlike the MPPs, John Dramani Mahama's second coming, do you hear of BC arrears not paid? No. Do you hear of WAIC not giving money to organize exams? No. Do you hear of school feeding, caterers picketing at any offices for money? No. Do you hear of any common fund arrears? No. These days, do you hear of any statutory fund arrears? No. Mr. Speaker, Agrobefa Efrianipa. To wait, any good management of an economy begins at the foundational level, and that is what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has started doing. Mr. Speaker, let me close them to only common fund and get fund. This year alone, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama had released 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to fix educational infrastructure at the basic level. To add to it, Get Fund alone, 900 million good Ghana cedis has been added. So the combined effect of these statutory funds is that every constituency, every district, 261 districts are getting basic school infrastructure, 6 unique classroom blocks, teacher dabre, and day nurseries. Mr. Speaker, apart from because of teacher dabre, if you don't know what it means, Mr. Speaker, in addition to that, His Excellency promised that because of sanitary part, a lot of our young girls were dropping out of school. Not less than 12 million sanitary pads have been provided. And to be able to let them be in school 24/7, Mr. Speaker, His Excellency, the infrastructure that they are building, they have created spaces that the girls, they call it changing rooms. To wait, if you don't like this, what do you want? Mr. Speaker, unlike them, we are not pretending. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama doesn't pretend. He has come back to reset everything in this nation. Mr. Speaker, moving forward, let's look at the issue of the education sector specifically. Mr. Speaker, a total of 152,698 students in the tertiary school have already been taken care of. Earlier on, in the budget, we said 150,000 were taken care of. Now, 2,000 and over people have been added. Continuity. Mr. Speaker, the challenge in society, His Excellency promised, coming back, he would try to satisfy them not to pay fees. Mr. Speaker, apart from the no fee stress for the well-structured beings, those who are challenged, we are fully funding them throughout their university education. Mr. Speaker, so all these good things, these other side people, they are pretending not to see in the State of the Nation address. Is that what they are telling us? Mr. Speaker, above all this, in the SONA, His Excellency has said that truly he has created jobs. Mr. Speaker, it's good. Students should know the difference between jobs and employment. Why? Because maybe the difference is not known well. That is why we are arguing with the President. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency, not like them, not like Nanado's time, did not stop any road construction. Tama Motorway is ongoing. Afanko in Sawam Highway is also ongoing. The workers there, just these two examples, there are thousands of workers. We have those who are steel benders. Steel bending is a job. The grader operator is a job. The tanker operator is a job. The fuel tanker operator is a job. So if we talk of jobs, look at them in that sense and not that of employment as you are saying. Mr. Speaker, we need to let the people who are listening to us know that we are really telling
Thank you very much, Honorable Joseph Kwame Kuma. Let me turn to Honorable Dr. Isaac Opoku. You are ranking and you have 10 minutes.
Thank you
Honorable
very much,
Dr. Opoku,
Mr. Speaker.
you are ranking, you have 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I have 10 minutes. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me also thank His Excellency for fulfilling his constitutional obligation. Mr. Speaker, but the State of the Nation address was full of omissions. Mr. Speaker, full of omissions. Conspicuously missing was the recent report by the Ghana Statistical Service that food insecurity rises to 38.1%. Mr. Speaker, and Mr. President failed to recognize this. Mr. Speaker, Institute of Economic Affairs, 71% Ghanaians worried about rising food prices, and Mr. President failed to acknowledge this in the State of the Nation address. Institute of Economic Affairs. Institute of Economic Affairs. Source, myjoyonline.com. Myjoyonline.com. Mr. Speaker, but are you surprised? Mr. Speaker, there is very little happening at the Ministry of Agriculture. Mr. Speaker, let me refer you to their own report, Medium-Term Expenditure Framework for 2026 to 2029. Mr. Speaker, summary of key achievements, their own report. Mr. Speaker, they said they targeted to procure 5,000 metric tons of maize seed. Speaker, they ended up procuring just 2,000, 40%. Mr. Speaker, for rice seed, they targeted to procure 10,000 metric tons. They ended up procuring 1,000 metric tons, 10%. Mr. Speaker, fertilizer, their own report, page 12. Mr. Speaker, fertilizer, they targeted to procure 395,786. They ended up procuring 50,000 metric tons, 12.6%. Mr. Speaker, for control of fall armyworm, they targeted to procure 45,000 liters. They procured 0. Mr. Speaker, for biorational insecticide, they targeted to procure 30,000 kilograms. They ended up procuring 0. Mr. Speaker, their own report. Mr. Speaker, this is because no funds are being released to the Ministry of Agri. Their own report. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, at the end of the third quarter, only 16.9% of the 29 billion allocated to the ministry had been released. 16.9%. Mr. Speaker, today, every farmer is suffering. The food glut we are experiencing is because of excessive importation. Speaker, in 2025, the food import bill alone was in excess of $3 billion. $3 billion. Speaker, every farmer today is suffering. The cashew farmer is also suffering. Now the price of cashew has been slashed by 20. The price of cashew today has been slashed by 26%.
So what are you holding?
Cashew, Mr. Speaker, cashew. This is cashew. Cashew.
Okay, let's move on.
Mr. Speaker, now let me turn my attention to cocoa. Mr. Speaker, what is the state of the cocoa farmer today? The state of the cocoa farmer today is one of misery, it's one of depression, it's one of sadness. Mr. Speaker,
This is the first time that a Ghanaian cocoa farmer did not celebrate Christmas. The first time. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the NDC manifesto, their own manifesto, I have a copy here. Mr. Speaker, come with me to paragraph 3121. The NDC manifesto. The next NDC government will ensure timely release of funds for the purchase of cocoa beans. The next NDC government would ensure timely release of funds for the purchase of cocoa beans. Speaker, what are we seeing today? From October till today, cocoa farmers have not been paid. From October till today, cocoa farmers have not been paid. Mr. Speaker, they promised to pay 6,000 cedis per bag. And their excuse is that at the time of the promise, the international price was $10,000 per ton. Mr. Speaker, farmers are asking them, when the price rose to $11,000 per ton, how much did they offer the cocoa farmer? When the price rose to $12,000 per ton, how much did they offer the cocoa farmer? Speaker, the international price went to as far as $13,000 per ton. How much did you offer the cocoa farmer? Mr. Speaker, I hear my friends on the other side that even today, Cote d'Ivoire has reduced their producer price. Mr. Speaker, let me educate them. The pricing system in Cote d'Ivoire, Mr. Speaker, is completely different from the pricing system in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, Cote d'Ivoire, they practice what is called differentiated price policy. In Ghana, what we practice is weighted average. Mr. Speaker, for their information, if you split the cocoa pods, we have 7 categories of beans. 7 categories. We have the main bean, we have the super light, we have the light, we have small beans, we have type 4, we have remnants and above remnants. 7 categories. Mr. Speaker, what we use for the international contract is only the main bean. For the rest of the categories, Mr. Speaker, we sell to the local processors at a discount between 20 and 30%. And Mr. Speaker, we put the two together, the main crop and the light crop, and we find the weighted average, and that is what we give to the cocoa farmer. So, Mr. Speaker, in Ghana, whether it is light crop or main crop, the same price is offered to the cocoa farmer. Cote d'Ivoire, the situation is different. They announce the main crop for the main season, and when it gets to the light crop, they announce a different crop. That is the system they practice every year. So that is for your information. That is why Cote d'Ivoire has announced a different producer price. Mr. Speaker, they are finding all manner of reasons why they cannot pay the cocoa farmer. They promised 6,000 Ghana cedis. It turned out to be 419. They increased the price from 31,000 to 36,000. They didn't pay. Now they have slashed it to 2,587. And Mr. Speaker, even the 2,587, Mr. Speaker, they are not paying. Mr. Speaker, Cocoa Board owns the license buying companies in excess of 11 billion Ghana cedis. In excess of 11 billion Ghana cedis. This is what the chief executive of Ghana Cocoa Board told your committee, the Food, Agric and Cocoa Affairs, the chief executive of Ghana Cocoa Board himself. I asked him that question, and he said they are owing cocoa farmers in excess of 11 billion. So, Mr. Speaker,
if you are paying 1 million every month, it's going to take over 1 year for all the farmers to be paid. Mr. Speaker, is this fair? Mr. Speaker, one of the excuses they are giving is that the international price has fallen. Mr. Speaker, is it the first time that international price has fallen? Is it the first time? Mr. Speaker, when Nana Adudankwa
Honorable members, let's turn to Honorable Adam Abana. Honorable Adam Abana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Adam, please, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the debate on the State of the Nation address ably delivered by His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, on February 27, 2026. Mr. Speaker, from the President's address, we can all conclude that the country is in safe hands and the current administration is doing an excellent job. But Mr. Speaker, because of the time constraints, permit me to narrow my debate to the education sector, because I believe education is the bedrock of national development. Mr. Speaker, if we are serious about making Ghana a better place, if we want to increase productivity and develop this country as we all desire in this house, education is the sector that we must all pay attention to. Indeed, education is a leveler. It is the only reason why me, a son of a driver and a woman who has never been to school, can share the same august house and be a policy maker with people from more privileged homes. That is why I am passionate about education. And Mr. Speaker, education does not know political colors. And it's important for all of us to recognize that today, after 12 months of President Mohammed's administration, we can all attest to the fact that our educational sector is better than President Mahama inherited in 2025. I will give you the statistics. Mr. Speaker, at the basic level, capitation grant arrears have been paid or have been cleared. At the time capitation was in arrears, the previous government found it more necessary, more important to put $58 million in constructing a big hole that has become useless. The priority of a government is seen is where their expenditure goes. Because President Mahama and this government care so much about education, we can see how the government is clearing all arrears owed at the education sector. Apart from capitation grant, as we speak, all outstanding debts owed in arrears with regards to BEC registration subsidies have all been paid. Mr. Speaker, prior to the 2024 elections, the NPP told us that a vote for President Mahama was a vote for the collapse of free SHS. At the time they were making that noise, Mr. Speaker, they did not even have a dedicated source of funding for the free SHS. Let's assume without admitting that indeed, Mr. Speaker, they gave birth to the free SHS policy. Let's assume without admitting. Even that, we can all agree that even if they gave birth to the free SHS policy, they malnourished that child, they starved the child, and at the time they were leaving office, common food, Mr. Speaker, common food. Our brothers and sisters, our children in senior high schools could not get food. In fact, today as we speak, President Mohammed's administration has dedicated $4.2 billion to financing free SHS. That is why there is no more complaint about feeding inadequacies in our schools. Indeed, if there is any complaint from the schools today, Mr. Speaker, it is from the children claiming and telling President Mahama that they are being overfed. And that is why there are reports of even some matrons
even taking food away from the students. Mr. Speaker, moving on, we are building 200 kg blocks because when you talk about education, Mr. Speaker, there are three core things that we have to pay attention to. The first one is accessibility. The second one is affordability. And the third and most important is quality. In terms of accessibility, Mr. Speaker, there are 200 kg blocks being built. There are 200 primary school blocks being built. 200 GSS blocks being built. And Mr. Speaker, as we speak, 12.2 million girls are able to stay in school during that time of the month because 12.2 million sanitary pads have been distributed to these girls. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, Mr. Speaker, to conclude, to that child in Anomabo who will now learn how to code because of the 1 million coders program, we see you. President Mahama cares about you. To that child from Bunkrugu who today, even as a disabled, is able to go to tertiary, go through tertiary without paying a peswa.
Yes. Honorable Nana Bafwaria. Honorable Nana Bafwaria. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to comment on the State of the Nation's address by the President. Mr. Speaker, I commend the President for compliance with the provision of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, whilst commending the President, I wish to again commend him, Mr. Speaker, supposedly for the position taken on the fight against corruption. Mr. Speaker, ordinarily we should be happy with the position of the President. However, Mr. Speaker, what do we see? Mr. Speaker, the President in his State of the Nation's address spoke about the introduction of the Public Office Holders Code of Conduct Bill. Mr. Speaker, that ordinarily should be commendable. However, Mr. Speaker, in the Republic of Ghana, what we do not lack are the laws to deal with corruption. Mr. Speaker, what we lack, if you should go to the streets of this country and ask, is rather the political will to deal with corruption. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, specifically, the political will to deal with members of our political party who are engaged in one form of corruption or the other. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, when at the promise of reset, when the President was given a resounding victory by the people of this country, the expectation by the Ghanaian people was reset, Mr. Speaker, in that regard. Reset to deal with members of our political party who are engaged in one form of corruption or the other. Mr. Speaker, the expectation of the people, Mr. Speaker, was to be disappointed. Why? One of the first major policies of this government was to free members of his party who were standing trial. Mr. Speaker, an indication to the members of his party that we were going to protect members of the party who are engaged in one form of corruption or the other. Mr. Speaker, in the circumstance, Mr. Speaker, when you introduce public office code of ethics law, Mr. Speaker, the position will be that where will be the goodwill, Mr. Speaker, to enforce it against members of your own party? Mr. Speaker, there will be none. Mr. Speaker, that is why we are saying that, Mr. Speaker, when the President says that he is committed to the fight against corruption, Mr. Speaker, there's no such evidence.
The evidence rather shows the president shielding members of his party who are involved in wrongdoing or one wrongdoing or the other. That is the evidence. Mr. Speaker, where is the update, Mr. Speaker, on Joseph Yamin? Mr. Speaker, the evidence rather shows that the president is using political office, Mr. Speaker, to persecute members of the opposition. Mr. Speaker, the president does not hate corruption. The president rather hates, Mr. Speaker, the opposition standing up to it. That is why anytime an issue comes up, the president thinks that the way to pursue it is to persecute the opposition in the name of the fight against corruption. Mr. Speaker, that is why when the cocoa matter came up, they were quick to say that they are going to investigate, they are going to do a forensic audit. Mr. Speaker, it's not because they are interested in the fight against corruption. It is because the president thinks that when you mention the fight against corruption, Mr. Speaker, the opposition, very respectfully, Mr. Speaker, will become quiet. So it is a means by which, Mr. Speaker, is the means by which he is trying to silence the opposition. Mr. Speaker, we do submit that it is for no other reason that the president failed to make the disclosure before us in respect of the nollie prosequens that was filed. Because, Mr. Speaker, it is to his ears dry bones to the ears of an old lady. Mr. Speaker, he's uncomfortable with it. He's not proud of it. Mr. Speaker, indeed, the president failed to disclose to us the true state of the nation's address. Because, Mr. Speaker, he failed to account to us the freeing.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Let's listen to the First Lady to make contribution for the day. Is it second? Yeah, yes, so the second lady. Honorable Jean Marie Formadi. Honorable Formadi, you have the floor. 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the SONA delivered powerfully by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in accordance with Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, the address delivered by the President is an address that states the actual state of Ghana. The question one must ask is whether or not the prices of food in the market are low. And the answer is yes. The question one might ask is whether or not fuel prices have reduced. And the answer is yes. The question one might ask is whether or not the dollar rate is stable. And the answer is yes. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, the President of Ghana promised us that the District Assembly will receive their monies on time and on schedule. And as we speak, the District Assembly has received their monies and the assemblies are working. My colleagues on the other side will agree with me that Ghana is working again. Ghana is working again. Mr. Speaker, I am so excited this evening because I'm talking on authority to tell you that the roads in our districts are all under construction. Most of the districts in this country, every district that you go, a road or two is under construction. When you go to my constituency, Biakoye, the road from Kwame Krom to Okaja Krom is under construction. The road from Nkonyatai to Alabanyokpeme is under construction. The road from Nkonyanchumru to Alabanyokpeme is under construction. So it is evidence that the road, the contractors are on site, and then work is ongoing on our roads. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that most contractors were not paid in this country. For that matter, most of the roads that they cut sod for were all abandoned. 8 years of roads. That's every year of roads. Another year of roads. 2020, year of roads. At the end of the day, there was no road to commission. Mr. Speaker, the contractors were not on site because they were not paid. But as we speak, most contractors have been paid. All abandoned roads are now back on track. Mr. Speaker, I am happy because the president is working and Ghana is working again. Mr. Speaker, I know that development delayed is a promise denied. It's an opportunity denied. So therefore, when the contractions in this country are not working, things don't go well. As we speak, there is employment because when the contractor goes on site, he employs an engineer, he employs a laborer, he employs a driver, he contracts a mason, a carpenter goes on site. So those people are paid, and at the end of the day, the purchasing power is so high. Mr. Speaker, that is why the roads that were abandoned by our people on the other side, government is committed to go back and construct it and also work on more new roads in this country. Mr. Speaker, I am happy when our people on the other side ask the road minister questions on their roads, the progress of their roads. I clap my hands because Ghana is working again. And this is what we want to see. Mr. Speaker, I am grateful to say that the schools that are being built in this country, under John Mahama, 2 schools at least, every year, at least for 4 years, that will be 8 schools in every constituency. If the people on the other side were able to do that, by now, our students, our pupils will not be under trees.
The applause cuts across, eh? Okay. Let's listen to Honorable Isaac Boama. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to comment on the State of the Nation address ably delivered by His Excellency the President of the Republic. Mr. Speaker, let me clear 2 preliminary issues I've picked on this debate. The first is from my colleague Edem Agbana and then our sister Zuila. Mr. Speaker, they indicated that since they came into power, the school feeding program has gone so well that those days when you hear about children being fed with poor food is a thing of the past. And I wonder whether they stay in this republic or in a different republic. Because as recent as 16 January 2026, not 2025, the search in 2025 is too many. But on the 16th of January 2026, check GBC News. The GES is investigating poor feeding in Zavlugu Senior High School. Savulugu Senior High School, to the extent that the children have been poorly fed, that it has become a matter of concern for this particular republic, based upon which the Ghana Education Service have commenced investigation into the matter. So please, you should be very candid in your reportage and in your statement that all doesn't look as rosy as you want us to believe. So that is for you. Now to my sister Fomadi, you did well.
But your statement to the effect that you never saw roads under construction during the MPP regime is completely inaccurate. Because, Mr. Speaker, let's go to this order paper. You can find a lot of questions filed by members from both sides of the aisle, whether it is the NDC or the MPP, asking the Minister for Roads and Highways how it has happened to the various road construction that were given during the time of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, which many out of over 2,000 kilometers of road contracted, many of them had been completed and many were at various stages of completion. So please, in as much as on your side, you are now talking about big push. They've just commenced work. As to whether they will be able to deliver the numbers by the end of the contract period, we live to see. That is why my colleagues indicated to you earlier that the President's State of the Nation's address was a matter of rhetoric. He didn't give hope to the ordinary Ghanaian. Why is the ordinary Ghanaian not hopeful in the President's State of the Nation? Because majority of the youth of this country wanted to hear from the president what job opportunities he's creating for them. You go to my constituency in Efia, the youth are unemployed. Even people that were given contracts or employment, government took it away from them. Just 3 days ago, Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, in a press release yesterday, is now telling us that after Chief of Staff's letter that took away over 2,000 people unemployed, the Chief of Staff's committee have now established that 1,201 persons have to be reinstated and only 500 people's contracts have to be revoked. Wow. So why did you sack the people in the first place? 1 year down the line, are you going to pay them compensation or damages for what happened? So the Ghanaian youth was expecting a lot of direction from the president. But what did they hear? A promise or a statement that 1 million jobs have been created. Where are the jobs? Now the president has gone to see, Mr. Speaker, go and check the Ghana Statistical Service website. Even the 350,000 jobs they said they have created or they reported on, they have pulled it off their website. They've pulled it because they don't want to embarrass the president. Oh, it is so unfortunate that the president came to this house and gladly mentioned a figure that is completely at variance with the realities on the ground. So is the president really on the ground? Is the president really aware of the true state of the nation? I don't think so. Now to my honorable leader, Ricketts, who chairs the Ghana Revenue Authority Board. Mr. Speaker, what is the state of revenue today? Government missed the revenue targets of 2025 by 7%. Government needs money to run this country. But where is the money? The money is not there. So I will appeal to you, let the government support GRA so that they can raise the revenue to meet expectations. I will meet you again next year on the State of the Nation to discuss whether the president really has performed. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Honorable Isaac Boama. So it is the turn of Honorable Maswell Lukuto. Honorable,
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm grateful for the opportunity to make comments on the State of the Nation address delivered by the President on the 27th of last month, 2026. I want us to appreciate where we are coming from to know where we are going.
A lot.
The MPP government we knew abandoned a lot of the project sites and they became residents for rodents, rats, and all other animals. When we came in, we turned every other place to a construction site. There are bulldozers everywhere. And I dare say that Mahama is working like a bull and Agboja is working like a dozer. That is why we have bulldozers everywhere.
Good combination.
This government is a government
Honorable,
that is
Honorable, repeat that phrase again.
Then you will have to give me some more time. There are bulldozers everywhere because Mahama is working like a bull and Agboja like a dozer. That is why we have bulldozers everywhere. What MPP was doing
was to go cut salt. So they will cut salt today. Tomorrow they will give excuses, and then the next day they will blame external factors for not being able to complete the project. So they will go and cut salt. They will use flowering language, especially the Queen's language. And then the next thing you see is that the contractors will leave site after they demanded for payment. Typical examples are the Tamale Savelugu Waliwale Road, of which over $29 million was paid. Only 1% of the job was executed. Ofankon Sawa Road became a driving obstacle center. And then the Kasua Winneba Road also turned into a center for shock absorber tests. So if you want to test your shock absorbers, go to Kasua Winneba Road. The Takrady Agora, the Takrady Agora Junction Road was loudly announced, but quietly they progressed. The Tematu Ho Road, Ho to Denu, and Tematu Aflao roads all suffered stagnation. The Palugu Dam, we don't have to talk about it. But now you see chiefs compounds everywhere. You see get farm projects everywhere. You see bridges like the volleyball bridge that has been abandoned